it's Kylie back with you, otherwise known as Paper Sweetpea, and I am of course a Creative Memories Advisor here in Australia. Super happy that you could join me today for this premiere YouTube video. I'm going to be featuring or creating a layout featuring the new Endless Meadows collection from Creative Memories. Now I'm calling it an early bird video. This is for National Scrapbook Day, which is fast approaching of course. And I'm actually organised and have got this ready for you all. This is a little look at the layout that I'm going to create with you all today. Features a very cute little garden bug down the bottom there. But before we get started on that, something I wanted to chat with you all about, and that is the launch today of my ultimate layout guide for National Scrapbook Day. This is the biggest guidebook I've ever done. It is 14 pages and I've created 5 layouts. So there's 2 two-page layouts, 3 single-page layouts, all with the Creative Memories NSD project recipe kit as well as the Garden Friends paper pack. But you could of course use any theme you like to create these layouts. But it just features whether you're an advisor yourself or you're wanting to scrapbook just some personal pages for yourself. There's lots of tips and tricks, and I don't want to give too much away. But you can see there it's in full colour, step-by-step guide for you to be able to learn to create these layouts, some little tips along the way. I will link this book directly below today's video. It is $11.95 Australian dollars. So I think that's just under $10 US. That's a quick conversion in my head. But you'll be able to, once you've gone through checkout, you'll be able to download and save that to your computer. Or if you're a paper nerd like me, you can print it and make a book. Or I know some of you love to put your PDFs into a binder so that you've got them for future reference. Okay, but for today's video, I would love for you to hit up the chat and say hi, tell me you're here. If you have any questions at all, do feel free to ask. I'm here to help, but let's get started. All right, so I just want to share with you some of the products and tools that are going to feature in my layout today. And I have here on my desk the brand new Endless Meadows collection from Creative Memories. And it is a beautiful spring themed collection. It has gorgeous color palette, really pretty florals and designs feature in both the paper packs. And I have with me the Tone on Tone paper pack as well as the Designer paper pack. And I'm going to intermix both into my layout today. And I'm also going to be working with the embellishment pack for Endless Meadows, as well as both sticker packs for the collection. There was of course the border sticker pack as well as the embellishing stickers. I have some of my custom cutting templates as well. I've got the smallest and the second largest oval cutting template. I have the diamond cutting template, and I've also got the smallest circle. And with those I'm going to be working with both the red and the blue blades. I've got my 2-way corner rounder punch, and I have the precision point glue pen as well as my multi-purpose tool. And I also have the piece by piece punch set here. If you've been following along with my paper adventures for a while, you would know that I use this punch set all the time. I rarely put it away, it's always on my desk, but there are so many creative ways that you can work with this punch set, and you'll see that feature in today's design. Okay, so I've gone ahead and selected 3 papers that I really want to use as my background in a framed effect. Now I could just layer each paper, you know, one on top of the other, trimmed down to size, but of course that's going to use an unnecessary amount of my paper supply, and we like to get as many projects as we can out of our papers. So I'm actually going to cut the center out of the first 2 layers to conserve paper, and it also helps to stop your layout being too bulky in your album. So this is going to be the very base, this beautiful floral. Then I really want to layer this gorgeous lilac tone paper, and this will be the top sheet, this pale green. So to begin with, I'm going to bring in my 12-inch trimmer. Now the wonderful thing with the Creative Memories 12-inch trimmer, as you can see here on the side of the housing unit for the blade, that you've got this line marked on the side. Now from the top of this housing bracket to this line, that measures 1 perfect inch. So that's going to help us to be able to cut a frame from our paper. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to line up the edge of this paper to 1 inch. And as I just said, because we know that this is 1 inch in measurement here, I can bring down that housing bracket. I'll just show you. So I'm going to bring it down, and the top of the housing bracket is going to line up with the top of my paper, and I'm not going to push down and cut until I've lined that up. That way we're going to leave ourselves an inch wide space there that's not cut, and it helps us to create this frame. So in case I'm not making any sense there, I'll just show you what I mean. So I've lined it up to the 1 inch mark without pushing down on my blade so that it starts cutting. I'm just going to draw it down so that the top of the housing bracket is at the top of my page. I know that's 1 inch. I'm going to push down, and I'm going to stop when the bottom edge of my housing bracket gets to the bottom edge of my paper. Okay, and what that has done, you can see we've cut 1 inch wide strip there, but we've stopped short 1 inch from the top and the bottom. And I'm just going to continue doing this until I've gone all the way around my paper and it's just removed the inside of this sheet of paper. So just lining it up and stopping when we reach that 1 inch mark. So you know it's a really accurate way to be able to remove the centre out of your paper. And the centre of that paper you can now go on and use for other projects or other layouts. There we have it. And you can see that I can just easily remove the centre from my paper, and I'm left with this frame as our first layer of our layout, as you can see there. Okay, so I've brought in the second layer that I want for my layout, and I want there to be about 1/2 inch border of this floral paper showing. So that tells me that I need to cut 1 inch off the top and 1 inch off the side, and that way when this paper is centered, it's going to have a perfect 1/2 inch border. So I'll remove 1 inch off the top, and we can save these strips as well, they can be used for something else, and 1 inch off the side. And you'll see that when I line that up over our first layer, it gives us a perfectly neat, even border. But because I have yet another layer of paper I want to use, I'm going to use the same technique as I did that first time and just leave a 1 inch frame and remove the center of this paper as well. So I'll just move my frame out of the way and bring back in my board. And even though this is a smaller sheet of paper, we know we can do the exact same technique. So this blade won't start to cut until I push down on it. So I'm going to bring it down and line that up, push down, and then stop. And then we're just going to rotate and just keep following that same line. And I am actually going to use the center of this paper to create our little bug from. So I really like this colored paper. And our final side. I'll just stop. And there we have it again. I've just removed the center from that paper. I can bring back in that first frame that we cut, and this will layer over that first frame perfectly. Now I've lined up everything using my cutting mat as the guide, so I can see there, oh, I've just moved it out of place. You can see there that it gets the frame nice and even to where we want it to be. And I'm just going to come in with my repositionable tape and just start adhering that into place just a little bit. You don't need a lot. The wonderful thing with repositionable tape is if you do get it a little bit wonky, you can lift that off easily and put it in place where it needs to be without too much damage or residue. Okay, so that has our frame all together. Now I'm bringing in my final layer, and I'm going to trim 1.5 inches off the top. We can keep these strips, they'll be perfect for borders in another project. And I'm going to trim 1.5 off one side to give us a perfect square. And that will fit perfectly onto our layout. You can see there, and we've got that beautiful double-edged border. So I'll go ahead, just the same thing. I'm going to just run a little bit of repositionable tape across that top just to hold it in place, centered. And then I'll go around and I can adhere the rest in place like so. So that has our background prepared. So I've brought in this lovely green paper that I'm going to work with, as well as my second largest oval, and I have my blue blade with me. I'm just going to very simply cut one oval out using the blue blade. So I'll turn it into the lid, and I'm going to be doing this from the outside track. Like so. I can set that paper aside. And I'm just going to bring in my scissors and I'm going to just cut through this oval lengthways. It doesn't have to be too perfect. And bring back in my background. I'm just bringing in a pencil to mark, but I want to cut away about 1/4 of that oval. So again, just with my scissors, I've marked where I'd like to cut it and just cutting straight through. So, and then I'm bringing in my second oval. Which I'm just going to layer in behind. You can see that that's going to give us some cute little grass mounds, if you like. So you want to be able to trim those edges as straight as what you can with your scissors. Like so. And just bringing in my sticker sheets, and I want the stickers that have the border stickers. I'm going to add a strip of the beautiful floral here along the bottom. But as you know, because I've cut this to a smaller size than 12 by 12, I will have to cut down my stickers. I'm just going to add that to the bottom, and I'm just allowing a little bit of overhang on the width for both sides. And I'm just going to bring in my scissors. So just gently lift that a little. That is about as much preparation as I'm going to do for the background for now. I'm going to start creating our cute little bug. So we'll lift this away again. And I'm bringing back in that smaller square that we removed from the frame that we cut. And using my second largest oval, I want to cut from the inside track using my red blade. So I'll just turn that into the lid. And I'm just going to cut one oval, which is going to be our little bug's body. Next, I'm going to bring in my smallest oval template, and I'm just going to make sure you can see on this paper how it's got a lovely floral print. It's only delicate in the background there, but I do want to make sure that it's all going the same way for my little bug. So I'm turning, this will be the head that I'm cutting. So I'm turning that oval sideways so that the print's going to run the same way. And I've got my red blade, which I'm going to cut for the head. I'm just going to bring in some black cardstock, and with my second largest oval again, I'm going to cut another oval from the inside track with my red blade. And with this oval, we just need to very carefully cut through the center, through the longest center, so that we have two halves, which will become our little bug's wings. Bringing back in our purple sheet of paper again, I'm going to be using the petal punch from the piece by piece punch set, and I want to punch two on the apricot coloured side, like so. And then using my scissors, I actually want to remove one of those little arches there. So it would kind of look like a heart. And then I'm just going to trim, sort of slightly curved. I'm just going to trim it away so that that's all that I'm left with. And that's actually going to be little hands for our bug. And I'm going to do the same with this one. So just trim away one of those arches. And I guess you could say it's probably cutting it in about half, like so. I don't know, do bugs have hands? What do we call them? Anyway, I always say if it looks cute, it doesn't need to make sense. Bringing back in the black cardstock, and I just want to trim a really, really thin strip. Like I'm talking a couple of millimeters, as you can see there. And I've got the smallest oval template with my blue blade that I want to cut two from. So 1, 2, and this will be our little bug's legs. You can make these as long or as short as you like, but we need to cut 2. Bring him down. closer here. So these will all adhere underneath with a little footsie. Now he'll really come to life once we've added his facial features and a few decorative elements. So I'm bringing in my white cardstock, and again with the smallest oval template I'm going to cut another 2 ovals from the center track with my blue blade. Like so. Which will be eyes. Slowly coming together. And using the punch that features the little heart from the piece by piece punch set, I want to punch 2 of this larger circle. So just going to unlock that. And I'll just punch twice. So from all of those confetti pieces, if you save the little half moon shape and you save those 2 circles, the rest of the confetti we can put aside. But these 2 little black circles will obviously be his eyes. This is all just piecing it together at the moment. This will be his little mouth. And I think we need to do a cute little nose. So I'm going to bring back in our peach again and just punch another circle. Which will go like so. And all that's left to do is to give him some little antennas. So again, from our little strip that we cut for the legs, I've cut 2 strips there. Not too fussy with the length of those, whatever you like. They will be our antennas. And for extra cuteness, let's go back to our piece by piece punch set, and I want to punch 2 of the hearts for our little bug, which will go up to the top. Now I'm pretty happy with how that's pieced out there on my mat, so all I really need to do now is come in and put everything together. And when I'm done, I'm going to add some extra little decorative elements to our bug, just for some extra cuteness. But we can start by putting him all together. I use the Precision Point glue pen and my multi-purpose tool for the finer elements such as the face and the feet, etc. But for his body and so forth, we can just use our repositionable tape. I'm just going to adhere the wings in place. I want those wings to be fanned out a little bit from the body. Next we'll do these little hands that we did. One and the second. Line those up. Next I'll connect his little head, which will go across the top. Okay, so now's probably where I'm going to start using my glue pen. It's really good for finer parts like this. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the base of his legs. And this glue is really strong. If you haven't used it before, it's a really strong glue. I love it. I'm just adhering each foot in place. He's starting to look rather cute. And I'm going to align those to where I think I'd like them, and I'm going to add a bit of glue to the top of those legs. Position them how I like. Don't want them too straight and perfect. And add the body. Let them adhere. Next I'm going to go the whites of his eyes, and I'm going to add just a little bit of glue. Don't need a lot of this at all. I'm just going to adhere these into place. So one eye there. We'll do the second here. Doesn't matter if they overlap a little bit. I'm a little bit wonky there. I'll try and straighten them up. There we go. And next we want to pop in his little eye pupils there. And this is where I tend to use my multi-purpose tool a little bit, just because these pieces are quite small. I'm just going to add a small dot of glue. And then just use the tool to position them where you would like them and to hold in place. The second, he's coming to life now. It's looking rather cute. I'm going to add his little nose right at the top there. Again with my tool, just to slide it into place and hold. And then this is the tiniest piece. I'm actually going to pop the glue directly on the back of the mouth. Just a few dobs, because it's so small. Could be a little bit fiddly, and I've just wiped half of it off, which is typical. It's all over my fingers. We sort of want a little cute half smile on our bug. There we go. That's in place. And like I did with the legs, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the base of his antennas, and a little bit at the top for the hearts. Center those. Very cute looking bug. And we want to just adhere those behind the eyes. And they don't have to be perfect. I think it looks rather cute when you have things off balance a little bit. So I've got one higher, slightly higher than the other there. And that has our little cute little bug finish. We just need to add some decorative elements to it now. Okay, so I've just spread my embellishments out on a little tray here, which I like to do. It just helps me to see what's in the pack. And I've just picked out this cute little set of leaves, and I've got my sticker sheet here where I'm just going to peel one of these apricot coloured flowers. I'm just adding the flower there to the little leaves, and I've got my foam squares, which I'm just going to add one to the back, just the little foam square it is, and I'm just going to add that to his tummy. Now I know what you're thinking. What bug has a flower on their tummy? But if it looks cute, it doesn't need to make sense. Okay, so I just want to add a little bit of extra colour to his wings, and I've got my piece by piece punch here, and I'm just going to punch a heap of the little circles from this yellow paper that I have. And I'm just going to add these as little polka dots to his wings. Start with that and see how we go. I think I want the softer side of the yellow. Okay, so just with my glue pen again, I'm just going to add those to his wings. I'm not even sure what kind of bug he is. I'm just going to say he's cute. Cute little bugger-lugs. And, oh, wrong pen. I'm going to tuck one in under there. Like so. Keep it different on each side. And I'll pop another up higher. So yeah, 6 was good. I've punched 6 of those little polka dots. Actually, I might slide him underneath the body. So again, just lifting that up with my tool. That might be better. Yes. And let's say another one here. So that should do for our glue pen for the moment. And I think he looks like a very cute spring mascot with his little flower belly. Okay, the next step, we're going to make some cute little mushrooms to go in behind our bug. And I've brought in this lovely yellow paper, and I've just aligned the base of it to a line, no particular line, but just making sure that it's nice and straight on my cutting mat. And I've brought in my diamond template. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to align that just approximately halfway. And you can see by the shape that I've got here that it already gives us what appears to be the top of a little mushroom. And it's just about, again, conserving paper. I'm going to bring in my red blade. And with that in place, I'm just going to cut from the inside track with my red blade. Make sure I've got that lined up. Like so, and that gives us 1/2. And I'm also bringing in, I love this stripy paper. So just the same deal, I'm going to align that on a straight edge, only this time I'm going to use my blue blade. So we're going to change the size of the mushroom. And again, just aligning it approximately halfway. It doesn't have to be perfect. To give us a smaller sized mushroom. So that's all we need from those for now. Now it's just about adding some of the finer little details. You can see we've got quite a sharp corner here on the base. So I'm just going to take my scissors and just carefully just round that corner a little bit. It's only removing just the smallest amount. And I'm going to do the same with the larger triangle. Just curve that little edge. Take that sharper corner off. I'm bringing back in my white cardstock. And I'm just going to trim a strip at 1.25 inches wide, just straight. And then I'm just going to trim them. This is so random. I'm going to just trim them at 3 inches. This length isn't too important because you can just adjust it as you like. So I've got 2 3-inch strips, 3-inch long strips, I should say. And bringing in my corner rounder punch, I'm just going to round the corners on one end, and that will be the base of our mushroom. So I'll do that to both pieces, like so. And then again, just with my scissors, a little freehand cutting for you, probably about 1/4 of the way up from the bottom. I'm just going to remove a little arc like so, turn it over, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just with my second as well, just to give them a little bit more of a mushroom shape. So we've got our two bases. So now that if I bring back in my background page and our cute little bug that we made, so I'll bring back in our cute little bug. It's going to sit here. And I've got a little mushroom that can go in behind here with the base. Like so, and then I've got another smaller mushroom. And you can see with the bases, if you need to cut a bit off the length, you can. I wasn't too exact with the measurement of those strips. But that basically gets our cute little mushrooms. You can even tilt one on the side to the base. So I'm going to adhere these in place now. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use repositionable tape on this mushroom, and I'm probably going to use foam squares on our bug and this mushroom because we want to create a little bit of depth and dimension in our page. So just some repositionable tape for this one. I might just sit our little bug back so we can position everything how we like. About there. So we'll adhere the top in place. Once you know how to make these cute little mushrooms, these will be great too for when it turns to autumn. You can make some little mushrooms. It's actually autumn here in Australia at the moment, so I am loving creating spring pages. But I don't mind the cold. Okay, so I'm going to use foam adhesive squares on this top mushroom. Tilt him on the side a little bit, like so. And I'm going to use some foam squares on my bug too. I've got the larger size here. Not everybody likes to use foam squares because it can make your page a little bulkier. You want to be able to get as many pages in your albums. But I think for the small amount that it raises your pages, I like having that little bit of dimension in my layouts. I'll turn this little guy over. He's so cute. I loves him. And I'm actually putting him on a little angle too, but we can adhere him into place. Now in our die cuts here, I notice we've got these cute little tufts of grass. So I might actually add some of those to my page as well. Again, I think I'll use foam squares. And I'll pop this little one down near the mushroom. So we might even add in some cute little wild flowers. And I think there's always room for one more flower. So I'll add another flower to the base of the mushrooms with some foam tape. And I was going to add some polka dots to this mushroom, but I'm thinking now it might be a little bit too much with his wings there. So I'm actually wondering how it would be to add a cute little butterfly. Yes. I'll do that. This is a sticker, so I'll do that with a foam square to the top of the mushroom. Yes, happy with that. Okay, so this is the part where I will bring in my photo template cards. I've shown these before. I've just cut cardstock down to the size of the photos that I like to work with. In deciding with where I'd like to place my photos. It just helps me to visualize before I go cutting anything into place. I have some 5 by 3.5 photos there, which might be a really good size. Or I could even do a 6 by 4. Yes, and a 5 by 3.5. Okay, so I've trimmed 2 photo mats from paper. If you didn't want to use your paper, you can of course use a coloured cardstock by all means. And I've trimmed 1 to 6 by 4 and 1 to 5 by 3.5, which tells me I need to trim my photos just a teensy bit, just a fine slither off the edges. And this photo will be trimmed to 5.75 to 3.75. And you can see when that goes over the mat, it just gives a perfect edged border. And for our smaller photo, we know it's 5 by 3.5. So we need to trim the photo to be 4.75 by 3.25 to give us that lovely edge. Now, I don't have photos printed at the moment for this layout, so I'm just going to use the white cardstock, which will represent, you know, the photo size. So I would adhere the photo to the mat, giving that nice even edged border. Same for this smaller die. Like so. And I'm really happy with the positioning of those, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere these to my background. I love to include lots of colour into my pages, so we've got lots going on in this page. You can adapt it to what suits you, of course. You don't have to use as many papers as I have in the border, of course. You could perhaps just have the one. You can make it work for whatever suits your own scrapbooking needs. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off, I think, with a few extra little embellishments. Balance it out by adding an extra little butterfly to the top of my page. Again, even though it's a sticker, I'm using a foam square for that dimension. And I think I'll work with creating a little title here from these phrase stickers. And I think I'll have Hello Sunshine. And again, bring in my smaller foam squares. I'm just going to raise my title a little as well. Foam squares on absolutely everything. So it's there. Hello Sunshine. Which will go below that photo. I've just added some extra little florals behind our little title there, and just going to add this cute little banner phrase sticker below the other photo. You could also, this would be a perfect spot for you to add some journaling to your page too. And that will complete our page for today. So there we have it, guys. That's my little spring themed layout for today. Now, of course, it was a single page layout, but you could have, of course, adapt that into a double page spread if you prefer. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my video today. I'm so grateful for all of you to have joined me. Don't forget to click on the link below and check out my new NSD guidebook. I'd love for you to try some of the layouts and to see what you create. But until next time, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye.